What is up, comic fan? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday night. That means this is at week's end, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and so much more. And oh my God, we have a lot to cover tonight. The Super Bowl is still rolling. Got it playing right here. They've been dropping all kinds of stuff left and right. DC dropped big promos this week. We got new Doctor Strange trailers, new movie from Jordan Peele, extended Moon Knight trailers, new Lord of the Rings trailer that just dropped. All kinds of stuff to talk about. On top of that, the newest episode of Peacemaker. Forget about the Book of Boba Fett. We're going to leave that in the past where it belongs, but we have new comic book day reviews to go over and more. But before we do that, check this out. Shout out to Big Time Collectibles for sponsoring the monthly Legion Loot giveaway for the channel members, as well as Justin Comics. If you need anything clean to press, hit him up on Instagram. Use that promo code WeAreLegion and take advantage of that buy two, get one free special. All right, guys, like I said in the intro, there's a ton of stuff to talk about, and I wouldn't dare try to do it by myself. That's why we started a little late tonight, waiting on my better half from its own country, a large country, a country that stands on its own, unlike any other country in the world. Some people wouldn't consider it, but I do. And it's called Texas. And here he is himself, Ryan. What is up, man?
Way down south.
What's up, way down south in Texas. How are you doing? What are you looking for? I think she said she had it.
Yeah, they're all living basically the armpit of the United States.
The final gather and scatter for bed is happening right meow. Right meow.
Right meow.
Let's say hey to the chat real quick. I don't like if we get a lot of people in tonight, I'm going to be ecstatic because I know the Super Bowl is going on. And even for people like myself who aren't big into sports, I could take it or leave it. You know, they're dropping.
The Super Bowl is today?
Yeah, that's what's happening right now, actually. It's in the third quarter. I'll be honest, the halftime show was amazing. Like it was like all the hip hop legends of my generation. They had like Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, 50 Cent. It was phenomenal. Like
didn't they also have Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar was in there, but he's not.
Kendrick Lamar is fire.
He is.
Oh, he will be though, man.
Well, no, because that's past. He's like the ones that came right after me. I was out of high school when he started like taking off. You know, the rest of them was like my middle school days and beyond.
Yeah.
But
there's just a few that really stand out from the modern era. He's one of them.
Anderson .Paak was on there too, but he was just playing the drums for Eminem. And dude, I didn't even recognize it was him at first. And dude, this dude's just smiling ear to ear when Eminem comes up on stage with him. Like his energy, like, dude, that's right. You're getting to perform with Eminem right now.
Right.
You have made it to the drums.
I've heard him on a couple of different podcasts, and like that's one thing about that guy is like he is like excited. Like he never forgets where he came from, I guess is the best way to put it.
Pretty cool. The only thing that I really know him from is the Double XL Cypher that they do every year. He was on one with who was it that sang the song Panda, the Panda, whatever that guy's name was, and with Little Dicky and God, I forget his name, but he didn't come prepared, and Anderson .Paak was horrible. And then Little Dicky actually freestyled the whole time like you would do in a cypher, and even started like making fun of them and like telling the Panda guy like, do it, brow, do it. He embarrassed him. It was rough.
Damn, that's wild.
Anderson .Paak came with like a 3-line verse that he just said on repeat over and over again. No, that's what the Panda guy did. Either way, it was still an entertaining little cypher. Those are fun to watch.
Yeah.
But what is going on, Paul Rogers? We got channel member up in here. Glad to see you. Hope you're having a great night, a great fun end to your weekend. Kenneth Bird, what is going on? Hello, hello, hello. You got a bunch of dab emojis. It says elbow cough, but that's definitely a dab. You wouldn't have your right arm up to elbow cough. What is going on? Wheelchair Superhero 87. Hope you're doing good. Moon Legion. What is up, Freaky Louie? Great show last night. And Moon Knight trailer. It wasn't as long as the previous one we got. It was like almost like an extended teaser length, but it was all material pretty much we haven't seen. We even saw him jumping through the air and his cape extend, and of course, Batman's cape is iconic when it's at full extension. Moon Knight's cape will be as well after this show. Like for comic fans who are familiar with him and stuff, it's shaped like a crescent moon, and they nailed it. Shop for Comics, what is going on? Good to see you. Vincent McLean, the comic machine, I know is on cloud 9 right now after that Moon Knight trailer. Beckerman, another channel member. Hey, everybody. Hello to you. Flash6792, channel member. We are Legion. What's going on, guys? Hope everyone is having a good Sunday night and enjoying the Super Bowl, as Mark calls it. The Super Bowl, LOL. House of L, another channel member. Yes, sir. Running a few minutes late. Had to wait on Ryan. Just a little bit of family stuff happening. Mars Comics, how are you doing this evening? Hello, everyone, she says. Another channel member. It was awesome. It was awesome. Hey, guys and gals. Digger Jim, channel member up in here. Hope you're doing good, my man. Boom, 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 boom. Trying not to miss anybody. That Moon Knight cape. Yes, it was very awesome. The comic vet's pretending like he's here at Week's End Super Edition. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I'll do Phantom Cave Reviews is up here. What is going on, man? If you're a fan of the Phantom, the old pulp hero, predates Superman even. There's been plenty of things that they've done in the Phantom over the years and TV show properties, but he's had a comic running forever. Phantom Cave Reviews is a YouTube channel that keeps up with all of that and more, like does Dick Tracy stuff. If you want to watch like the old serials, he even puts it on his channel and everything. It's a awesome, informative channel. Definitely great. Be sure to check him out. Comic Vet is not here, but he is here. Here, but you're not here. I appreciate you at least being in the chat. I know he's watching the Super Bowl. It's kind of like the Super Bowl, but it's Canadian. Mm. It's not as fun with the Canadian jokes when Chris isn't here.
I know, right?
In the group chat, they were trying to do the point conversion for Chris since he's in Canada, like trying to figure out what the score of the game is up there versus here.
Oh, that's so good.
I think you have all your notifications turned off and don't really pay attention to them, but you're in that group.
Yeah, I need to check into it.
Yeah, once in a while. It's funny. I'm trying to watch this game and watch you guys multitasking. Awesome. Yeah, I have the game playing right here. Because I actually pay for I guess I can't really show the game. But I paid because real quick on that topic, the NFL sacrificed commercial slot just to put their own commercial up about how this game is copyrighted and owned by NFL and NFL If you were watching it on a non blah 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 channel, you are not entitled to any money. I'm like, dude, did they just strong arm people trying to watch a game? Bro,
and you have like how many other hours of TV watching where it could just be like in small print across the bottom of the screen?
Bro, that is crazy. Like they're really that petty?
Yeah.
Yes, the Super Bowl halftime show was awesome.
Wouldn't steal a car.
I'm not a big sports person. Like I said, I can take it or leave it. I can watch it and enjoy it, but I'll never really go out of my way to watch it, kind of thing. But yeah, that was like the legends of our generation all together. It was amazing. I like the thumbnail for this one. Please tell me about the JSA, Mark. Oh, we will be getting into that heavily. I'm not excited about the Moon Knight show. I think there's going to be a problem with it. I'd pretty much try to stay optimistic about most things going into it. I hope everything's good. I hope that when we watch it, we can all be happy and come together like butt cheeks and talk about it and smile together and all that good stuff. But man, I think they're promising one thing and they're going to give us something else, to be honest with you. There's been some articles that have come out where like, we're not holding back. We're getting brutal. It's going to be tough. It's going to be on Disney Plus. Like, come on, man. Y'all aren't going to destroy your brand over some Moon Knight. You ain't about to do it.
No, because if they were willing to do that, then we would already have like Daredevil and Jessica Jones, like that whole universe, they would have just like continued that and like bought the previous seasons, you know?
On that topic, it's leaving Netflix the 28th of this month, which is the end of this month. It might be the 28th, might be sooner. It's leaving Netflix. You will not be able to watch it next month anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty much buy the disc or whatever. Boom, boom.
They're getting closer and closer to being able to erase history.
Yeah, who is the JSA? I need your brother to come on here and talk JSA with us, Jim. I know he can do it because John was posting some awesome stuff today, and I told him I was going to steal his idea and post the same thing. I'm going to put a little twist on mine. 2 of the 3 of the books will be the same. I don't have that same Nuklon cover he has, which was an awesome spotlight of him in the front, but I do have Nuklon's first appearance, and he is on the cover of it, so I might use that one. Dude, absolutely. I appreciate the awesome content from one fan to another fan. What is going on, Kevin? Hope you're doing good. Another awesome channel. I'm still jealous of the McFarlane Swamp thing he has. I'm still waiting on mine, Kev. Still waiting. Anytime I watch the Super Bowl, that's when I was in Chicago, and I was in the football squares when I paid $50 per square to find out if I won big money. I've participated in the little squares game for when I was serving still. Like this was probably like 2007. I was a server, and like all the wait staff and everything just bought in on squares, and I actually won it. I had no clue how it even operated or how it worked, but all I know is I gave them $5 and they gave me 150 at the end or something like that. I don't even remember the amount. I like the Moon Knight poster. I don't think I've seen the poster for it or the promo poster or anything, but Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire is becoming a series, unless it already is a series. They're showing a trailer for the final season of The Walking Dead, but I'd probably watch that Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire series. That'd be pretty interesting.
Right.
Is this a refuge for the non-football fans? Yeah, it is, John. And message me if you want to hop on, man. I'm kind of – AMC's doing some weird stuff, man. What in the world? Anyways, Doctor Strange poster is Easter Egg City. Send it to me, Louie. I think I seen somebody share the poster, but I didn't dissect it. I just went right past it. There's a lot going on between feeding the kids and trying to watch the commercials. Yes, it is. So that all right. So the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness full-on trailer dropped, and it was wild. It was very wild. It was very excessively awesome. Sam Raimi is directing it, the guy who brought us Evil Dead and the first Spider-Man trilogy. But it still looks very Marvel-y. It doesn't really have, in my opinion, doesn't have like his like artistic signature on it, which doesn't really mean anything. But we got all kinds of stuff in it. I think, all right, straightforward. They show you the Illuminati exists. For those that don't know, they have an Illuminati. It's like the smartest figureheads across all the different spectrums in the universe. You have like Black Bolt representing the Inhumans. You have Reed Richards. You have Tony Stark. You have Prince Namor. You have Professor X. And T'Challa, Black Panther. So you see Doctor Strange walk into a room, and across the room is a row of chairs. It looks about 7 chairs, and not even all of them had people in it. The ones that had people in it, he was kind of covering them, like silhouetted as he walked through. And then you hear none other than Patrick Stewart's voice, Charles Xavier, say, "Should we tell him the truth?" And you're just like, yes! For those like myself, Nick's Kicks and Comics, we actually read the leaked script a while back. But everything that was in that leaked script so far is coming to pass. I'm not going to speak on any of it beyond what like they're giving us because I'm not going to spoil anything. But yeah, I'm definitely pumped. It's going to be fun.
Wow, that sounds intense.
We just saw a lot of crazy imagery, cities crumbling while they're folding in on. Did you watch it yet?
No.
Yeah, it looks wild. What is going on, John? How are you doing tonight? What's good, brothers and sisters? Iggy, my man, how are you doing? Hey, everybody. What is this football everyone keeps talking about? I don't know. You'd have to ask Chris. He's in Canada. He can explain it. Ruby Guzman, what is going on?
As far as I understand, it's a bunch of people running around tossing a decapitated foot.
It's a pigskin, man. It's a pigskin.
Ah.
I got the first Bumblebee Teen Titans 47. Oh, nice. Sorry, issue 45. First Bumblebee. Dude, I don't even know where to start tonight. There's we obviously have the DC promo that was dropped. That's probably the thing that has me the most excited right now.
Well, how was this trailer for the Rings of Power?
Did you watch it?
Nuh-uh.
So that's the Amazon original. It's going to be a TV show. It's a prequel to Lord of the Rings before all the rings were formed, before Sauron did his thing and all that. And I have really no clue going into it, like what the story's supposed to be. I was familiar very little with the Lord of the Rings when it came out in like 2000. I was familiar very little with The Hobbit, enough that I could probably give you like a 3-4 sentence synopsis, and that's about it. But this, I couldn't even give you that. But just from the teaser trailer, I know that certain corner of the community is crying woke and saying it's going to be horrible and this and that, and they haven't even watched the trailer yet. I've already talked to a few of them, but the trailer looked decent. Like, me and my wife watched it, and both of us were excited about it. And we're just surface level fans, we just watch the movies, and they're absolute blast. Me, I love those epic length and depth movies, and especially when you give me 3 of them, like you can really tell a lot of story in 12 hours, which that's like, at this point, since the extended cuts came out, that's the only ones that we ever watched. When we've seen the trilogies numerous times, but I'm very excited for it. Like I said, just from what they gave us, the quick teaser, which doesn't reveal any story in it, you just kind of see like the elves, the dwarves, you see like some people from the human race are just laying it out. The color, tone, feel of it matches like the original trilogy, not in a bad way, like the Bad Batch matched the Clone Wars. They really should have updated that one, but this looked fun.
Cool. Yeah, I have a weird relationship with the Tolkien verse sort of stuff, because like I didn't get into the movies. I've seen them all like once in theaters and then probably once or twice on DVD or whatever. So like I'm familiar with them, but they were never like really my thing. And I was like, this seems like my tribe though, like I was in high school. So I'm like, these are people that I feel like I should share this kind of love for, And so I was like, what I'll do is I'll just immerse myself in Tolkien. And so I picked up a copy of the Silmarillion, and I read that whole thing. And I never read another Tolkien thing after that, obviously, because this is like the driest, like the driest part of like Tolkien stuff. And it's like super deep cut history.
This era that they're about to tell, is that what this new show is?
I don't know if how close the show is going to get to the Silmarillion, because it's like Genesis. It's like the book of Genesis. Like it's all just like narration explaining how the universe was created, how Middle Earth was created, where all the different tribes came from, and like their whole history. It's like, I mean, and it's a pretty fat novel. So like, it was probably the deepest part of Tolkien I tried to like dive into.
I haven't read any Tolkien, but I know somebody who has, and that's none other than Pop's Attic. He's read it, and my dad is a huge reader outside of comics as well, anything sci-fi. He's not huge on fantasy, but he did read Tolkien, and he's told me before, even back in the day when the movies were coming out, and I'd ask him about it, that the books aren't great. Like they're not bad, but they're not, I don't know.
Yeah.
How about starting with JSA? I think we're going to save it for the end. We'll definitely get there.
Yeah. Well, I was mostly interested to hear how the trailer did, because
Uncle Rico. Get the steak.
I had heard like a review of like whenever they dropped that like title card, I guess like a teaser. I'd heard a review of that, and people were like, I don't really like seem that strong, because they said it was just it felt like it was kind of trying to rip off of Game of Thrones.
Well, that's what
kind of take that style, that approach.
Everyone in the complaint camp was before these pictures or stills even came out, because they dropped a few promo pictures earlier this week, and again, I've kind of expanded the content I watch to areas where I am the outlier, and I've done that intentionally just because I like to debate with people, and it's even more fun when you start to debate with someone. Then you say, "Well, have you read it?" or "Have you watched it?" And they say no, and you're like, okay, then But but anyways, all of that camp of people have been screaming that they're just making their own Game of Thrones. They're just, but I mean, like that didn't look like it. Like other than the fact that it's set in a fantasy world, this did not look like Game of Thrones. Just like The Witcher does not look like Game of Thrones, or The Witcher doesn't look like the Lord of the Rings movies when you compare the two of them side by side. Other than the fact that it's set in a fantasy world, but hit this comment. Black Adam is looking too much like a good guy anti-hero. Familiarize yourself with the character, at least a character like from the past long time. Black Adam he's not a world domination kind of guy. We can talk more on that here in just a little bit, but they are definitely leaning into more of Black Adam, the ruler of his own nation and stay out of his way kind of guy. Like, think Doctor Doom without the world domination necessity. Doctor Doom lords over Latveria. No one dare messes with him, and Latveria is better for it. Doctor Doom is always trying to take his reach beyond that. Black Adam has no desire to. He gets put on Australian TV for 6 hours. So Phantom Cave sent me the picture of the Moon Knight poster, and it is legit. It's legit super cool. That's pretty tough.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Definitely pretty tough. The introduction of the Illuminati could be a great way to lead into World War Hulk and maybe Sentry. So I think we talked on this either on the community hangout last Friday or something. That would have been a great way to do it had they not already started burning that story with Thor Ragnarok. And people are still talking rumors of World War Hulk eventually, but as long as Universal holds the rights to Hulk, you cannot do a direct World War Hulk movie or anything. You can only have Hulk as a side character in another existing property, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Totally pops. I would love to see the Sentry though. I would love to see the Sentry because we were talking about that. He's such a fun character because he's almost directly tied into the Hulk, with the Hulk being the only character that actually remembers him from his past, that actually knows who he is. And they kind of have like this buddy relationship. And just to see the way that it all went down in World War Hulk with Sentry and the Hulk just going at it, and like that would be like a level of destruction that hasn't been done in MCU before like that. I mean, we've seen like the reality altering stuff, but think of Man of Steel when Clark and Zod fought. Like before it was over, they were standing in a crater for as far as you can see of just leveled. That was before the neck snap even. That would be like Hulk and Sentry going at it. Oh yeah, that trailer was so cool. Didn't know that was a thing. No. So you just watched the DC promo. To me, the most exciting thing I've seen all week because it came out of left field. DC dropped they dropped the little teaser images a few days earlier, kind of like the logos and stuff, and then out of nowhere they dropped that promo. It's like just over a minute long. It kind of does cut scenes through 4 different films, all 4 films releasing this year, from the Batman, Aquaman, the Lost Kingdom, the Flash, and Black Adam. And the whole thing behind it is like the world needs heroes, and it shows you all these clips, and just we get the first look at a lot of different things in it. What were your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I mean, I thought it was cool. It didn't really I don't know, because it's hard to say how many. Is that a Super Bowl thing?
What, that DC promo?
Yeah.
They haven't shown it yet that I've been watching, and I've been hoping to God they show it, just because that would be the perfect time to get some good exposure.
Yeah, because right now, who knows about it? People that are keeping up with movies. So nothing in that really was super relevant in a way, it's a cool inspirational thing, but it's probably not revealing too much to anybody, other than the Black Adam stuff that was in there, And so, it definitely needs to be shown during the Super Bowl if they're going to make any real value out of it, and put it on all these movies on people's radars that are not keeping up with it,
Well, the only movie that they're really pushing right now is the Batman. You really only need to push. Your job as a company to make money is to make this movie money. They're really only pushing the Batman. Is that the pizza?
Yeah.
Which one was it? The Joker or the Batman one?
I guess the Batman.
No, I mean the actual pizza. Or is this a
Oh
regular pizza you got in
no,
there?
yeah, just a regular pizza.
I saw this thing where they have like these specialty pizzas where one was like Batman themed and one was Joker themed.
Yeah, yeah, I've
But
seen those.
so I don't think they're trying to run too many people to their future projects yet. We have the Batman dropping in like 3 weeks, and I think in order them releasing it's Batman, Black Adam, Flash, and Aquaman, if I'm not mistaken, which would explain why next to Batman, the one we saw the most footage from was Black Adam, where we saw for the first time Hawkman. We saw him spread his wings. The design to him is just phenomenal. He doesn't have the green pants on. I think that's what the only negative feedback I heard from a lot of people that are very familiar with the comics, which isn't going to, in the grand scheme of things, take away from much. It showed Cyclone for the first time. We got Atom Smasher out of costume and in costume, like full size. And we got Dr. Fate in and out of costume speaking. Like it was insane. Like I lost my mind when I was watching that. Yeah, they literally said this Lord of the Rings show was in response to Game of Thrones. Oh, wrong combo, LOL. Ryan would be wise old man in Game of Thrones. Black Adams believes he's a good guy. His motives he always feels are altruistic. Absolutely. Absolutely. There is only doom. In his universe, absolutely. The Rock is absolutely perfect for this role. He's been perfect for this role, and he's been attached to this role since 2000 aughts, like that early. Like this has been a project that he's been wanting to be a part of and to get off the ground. It's gone through multiple attempts at getting it off the ground, and here it is. It is so crazy. The Rock should open the Super Bowl. What is going on, Chep? All right, I can't say that word. You have to say it. The name of that book you read?
The Silmarillion
Is a book that Tolkien's son put together from his dad's in-depth manuscripts. Is a high fantasy, multiracial genesis, demigods, mythic creatures through several ages of Middle Earth. The fact that he can spell Silmarillion right, genesis, demigods, manuscripts, and then chooses to shortchange the word through just blows my mind. I'm not against it, but that's just smooth, direct, intentional typing, and I'm impressed, Iggy. Hawkman looks awesome. I cannot wait. So my whole thing is that I'm assuming that the JSA are going to be a direct response to Black Adam waking up. Like I know a few people said, I wonder who the bad guy is going to be, and Black Adam. Black Adam is the bad guy. He's a bad guy. like he mentioned earlier in the comment, he believes he's a good guy. His motives he always feels are altruistic. Like he's going to wake up thousands of years older in a world he's unfamiliar with, and he's probably not going to care about getting caught up with events before going about his business. And I expect that the JSA are going to be the response, and we're going to get the fight between them. And I couldn't be more excited to see the JSA from Stargirl on the small screen and how well that works to bringing them into the big screen. I never actually thought like this would be a thing, going for so many years with superhero movies. And I wonder, and I've really been wondering if people really not being into DC Comics has given them the courage to kind of try out these characters where people are, no matter what's going on with Superman, people just don't care right now. Like people had Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman for so long when they were handed Marvel characters on the screen that they hadn't seen before. It's something new. It's something fresh. They can learn and experience it for the first time together. So this might be a good chance to do it this way, like use these characters that aren't getting the love that they well deserve. Probably work out well.
Yeah.
Let's see what else hit this week. But Aquaman looked cool. Very few shots. They used some of the dialogue from the first movie, like what could be greater than a king, and you see him sitting on the throne with his classic suit. Looked like it had minor changes to it, very minor. We saw him in his blue suit, which is pretty cool. I like his blue suit. It doesn't look anything like the blue suit from the comics. It's just straight blue. And then the Flash. We got a better we didn't get a full shot of his suit, but we got a shot of his helmet. And it didn't look bulky and awkward when he was down in that crouch position and it was close up and you see the little lenses go over his eyes. You see all the energy cover him and he gets ready to take off. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't. All
There's
I really
not much
remember
to
him
take.
saying was like he only had like one line in there, right?
I don't know.
I didn't feel like I saw anything new, but I mean, it looked like what the Flash, what I expected it to look like. So
Long story short, did it get you excited at all to see these movies this year? I know that with you and movies, this is a difficult conversation because I'm like as giddy as a schoolgirl about it stuff, and you intentionally try to manage your expectations and keep them low and avoid trailers.
yeah,
So you're like the polar opposite of me at this point.
yeah, and that has knocked it out of the park for me. So I don't know. Like I really don't. As much as I don't see stuff, I feel like I didn't see a lot of new stuff here other than the Black Adam stuff with Dr. Fate. So that was
What do you
really
think
cool.
of the design? I know that was the character you're most excited about. What do you think of the design of hearing him talking with the helmet and everything on? And
I thought it was cool. I think it's going to work. Like, I feel like, we were talking about this the other day, pretty much like Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, kind of like really just like, it's not like it happened overnight, but I think DC kind of realized that they were maybe like leaning a little too much into, because like their marketing for the original Justice League stuff, like it was basically just like images of the logos for each character. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like you got Marvel out here doing stuff, and then you are just like putting up some pictures, expecting that to like put butts in the seats. And so I think, they really realize like, hey, let's go with some lower tier characters and really like push the boundaries of what we can do as far as like social conversations and like building this unique universe that's different from Marvel's. And I feel like it's different because it's really like not even lower tier characters as much as like, not nearly as much in the public spotlight, not as well known. We're kind of seeing that a lot in the DC comics as well right now. They're being very successful. But I mean, you got like Peacemaker, huge character right now. At what point in your life would you have thought talking about comics or movies or TV shows that you would be talking about Peacemaker?
oh, dude, never, absolutely ever.
Like this is where they're winning right now. This is what
When
DC needs to do is stick with these kinds of characters.
They announced there would be 18 characters showing up in James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and nobody could guess who it was going to be. Nobody got any of them right except the returning characters.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah. So I think this is what DC, that's kind of what has me excited, is not so much seeing the Flash because he's already on TV and being done well enough, that movie don't have me nearly as excited as some of this like Black Adam stuff with Dr. Fate and like all these like background characters, like that's where all the fun is really at.
Yeah, Atom Smasher, dude, I'm excited about that. And what's really cool to think about, and like this is me just being petty now because I get a chance to be petty, is now the people that are MCU specific fans that won't take a chance anywhere else outside of that, they finally get a chance to see where their characters come from. Oh, you like Doctor Strange? Well, here's Dr. Fate. Oh, you like Ant-Man? Here's Atom Smasher. Like, well, welcome to the genesis of your fandom.
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah, it's always like these like really cool, likable background characters, sidekicks like Vigilante, in the Peacemaker show, or like, Dr. Fate and Atom Smasher. Like, I feel like those characters are so like out of the spotlight. They get to do like some crazy things with them that really make the universe feel alive and unique, and like it's something special that they're all in this like universe, versus like all your main characters, your flagship characters, like they kind of just are there, so I feel like build your background is what they're going for here, like make this universe come to life, and then we can start dropping in some more title characters again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so is Judo Master, Phantom Cave, Blue Beetle, Captain Atom. There's a lot of those characters got bought in and introduced into the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah, the Charlton stuff is historically didn't do well, and DC absorbed the whole company. But dude, I don't know. I'm just beside myself. It's hard to even keep thoughts straight. But back to this comment, Dr. Fate would kick off. But that's absolutely true, and and I actually saw this conversation we had. Zatanna would be a more accurate comparison to Doctor Strange than Dr. Fate would. It's was it put? Doctor Strange is somebody who's borrowing power from a god or from gods. Dr. Fate is a god who's borrowing a person.
Very nice.
But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very pumped. And yeah, speaking of Peacemaker, let's go and jump into that, man. It's just poor Mandrake the magician. Dude, he doesn't get enough love because Mandrake, he goes back. His first appearance was in Action Comics issue 1, I believe. That was Zatanna's dad, or however you say his name. Last time I remember Mandrake was from the 80s cartoon The Defenders with the Phantom, Flash Gordon, and Luthor. Crisis on Infinite is technically the first appearance of Peacemaker on DC Comics. Yes. Yeah, he pops up in there, and then right after that, and I don't remember if he actually showed up in the pages of Crisis on Infinite Earths. I know that he showed up directly behind it in the History of DC Universe, which was that 2-issue square-bound thing, just kind of explaining the current continuity and the way that this one Earth universe was going to be formatted and look like moving forward. But Peacemaker, the episode 7, second to last episode, probably my favorite episode yet. I almost say that every time they drop one. It's so good that like the most recently digested episode of it just stays on my brain like at all times. Okay, so you said it was in issue 1. I want to go back and look at that now. Then that's pretty cool. But dude, we got a great episode with this one. We had Peacemaker's dad and his merry band of white trash hooligans came after his son to knock him off, and came close. You know, old Diebeard, Peacemaker, Eagly, and Vigilante were just riding down the road, minding their business, trying to debate on if there is or if there is not a wrong time to rock, when we see his dad in full-on White Dragon mode flying through the air. And I thought that was very significant and very important. And because Peacemaker gets tech from his dad. In this show, Peacemaker's tech comes from his dad. And we saw the White Dragon flying. Well, Peacemaker in the comics can fly. He can't fly, but he has tech, a very small pack on his back that allows him to have flight. The White Dragon suit had a very small power source pack on the back. You can see where there was clearly like meant to be like where he was getting like the energy for the suit from. So we know from the first episode of the show that Peacemaker said if he's fighting a Mothra, he needs a jetpack. In episode 7, we were
one step closer,
possible jetpack, and we were showing a frickin' Mothra. So we might be getting Peacemaker. I'm hoping so.
Peacemaker predicting the future.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. This episode was, man, it was, it was good. It was like a good progression. It was pretty wild, I was like, man, this is going to be weird carrying this suit and all this like white racism stuff, through this whole show. But I guess they kind of resolved that.
Yeah, they took care of that. Old Diebeard showing up and being the hero yet again.
Yet again.
Now. He took out Judo Master. He killed the gorilla with the chainsaw, and now he killed every one of the white trash dudes except for the White Dragon. So that was really cool the way that played out. And it really showed how tough, how ballsy, and how crazy Vigilante is. And we had that moment that needed to happen. It was absolutely necessary for the growth of the character Peacemaker to become himself versus just this hollow douchebag like stamp of what came before him. So like when his dad like White Dragon flew in and just knocked the whole truck over. And while Peacemaker, Diebeard, and Eagly were all just standing there kind of dumbfounded, about to get killed, Vigilante just is hauling off on him, just unloading on him, walks him out, gets him away from everyone else, carrying a grenade with the gun. And as soon as he's out of ammo, didn't care, pulls the pin and just drops it, hits him with the quote of the episode, "There's no wrong time to rock," and blows himself up with the White Dragon. And then he's just gone. Like, you're like, dude, did he just die? Like I was like this the whole time. Like, please don't be dead. Please don't be dead. And sure enough, he crawled and hid behind a tree. Battle damage, tore up, and you get to the point where the White Dragon's facing down Peacemaker, like they have this weird little fight, and he basically got him dead to rights. He's about to kill his son, and Vigilante just flies through the air off the hood of the car, and he, like you mentioned in episode 2 or 3, he didn't care for his dad's suit because there was gaps in the armor. He goes straight for it, and then finally it gets to the point where Peacemaker's just standing in front of his dad, holding him at gunpoint, shoots him in the head. And did you notice the gun that he used to shoot him in the head? What kind of gun it was?
No, I did not.
It was a German Luger. It was a Nazi gun from World War II. So that was a callback to the comics.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought I don't know. This whole show has been layered pretty well, and so yeah, it's really cool to see like some of these things. Like they're still carrying this stuff over. Because in the comics, like all the Nazi stuff is very prevalent.
Heavy. Heavy.
Yeah.
You cannot write that comic like that today.
No.
I think that's why they did that one shot, giving us a modern origin. You read the one shot, right? From a couple of weeks
Disturbing the Peace.
Yeah. So his dad is not a Nazi now. Well, in the 80s, when that book was written per his age, you know what I mean? When he was 5 years old, that would have been like, so they just kind of took that same core concept of beliefs of crappy human beings and just moved it up to now. We also saw in this episode more details from the flashback with him and his brother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was real heavy, too. I mean, this episode was very heavy across the board. But yeah, that scene with his brother was really intense.
Yeah, so his dad and all their friends would just let him and his brother go down into a little pit and fist fight each other for fun, which they obviously looked like they were enjoying it too. They didn't know any better, and Chris accidentally looked like he hit him right on the nose, and it looked like he got a good shot. And like if you hit someone on the nose, you can run that bone up right to the brain. It looks like that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, he just like froze up and fell over and then had a seizure, and that was it.
Over with. And then he immediately blamed Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go from there to the vet's office, which I thought was pretty funny. So we had Peacemaker have to find help for Eagly because his dad like decked the bird. So they take him to a vet's office, and they're pretty much holding the vet's office hostage. They helped patch up Eagly, and Vigilante wants to kill him.
He's like, so we got to kill him, right? They saw our faces.
Harcourt and I don't know how to say her name, man. Adebayo.
Yeah, Adebayo.
Adebayo show up and kind of put a stop to Vigilante slaughtering the veterinarian staff, as he put it, the doctor, the kind doctor, the nurse, and the male nurse. Like he wouldn't address
nurses and the male nurse.
He wouldn't address the dude as a nurse. He had to specify male nurse. That was great. So it pretty much ended with them getting ready to go storm the farm where the quote-unquote cow is, which is the Mothra-sized butterfly that's being used to get the nectar out for these creatures to live on. We saw Murr get shot down and killed in this episode, and like brutally, didn't even wait to hear an explanation, nothing. It was a strong episode. There was so much plot progression. There was just a lot.
A lot of character growth.
There was. Do you stay for the preview for next week's episode?
Yeah.
They go storming. There was just a split-second clip when they're storming, and Peacemaker reaches behind himself and pulls out the shield. He's got a big shield with a dove on it. I'm like, yes!
Going for it. So yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, I usually watch like the outtake blooper thing, and then the preview. So yeah.
What was the blooper on this one? Was it the press conference?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Blood. Until you see blood, you clean, you scrub. It was crazy. Mern got killed twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got gunned down, and then the butterfly came out of him, and it got caught and squished. So for those that care, there's 43 seconds left in the Super Bowl, and the Goats just scored on the Tigers. I don't think that's their real team names, but one's got a goat design on the helmet, and the other one's got tiger stripes. So that's what we're going with.
Sounds accurate to me.
I mean, what else could it be?
Exactly.
No. Book wise, is there did you read anything new this week, or are you still playing catch up?
Well, no, I did read. I think I only read like 3 current books, but like all of them came with quite a bit of back reading to get caught up. So like I read all the way through. So for instance, Detective Comics 1052, I actually read like
Oh wow,
6 or 8 issues or something like that.
Yeah, the most recent one was the weakest out of the bunch since we got into the Shadow of the Bat storyline. But since you read it all in block, what have you thought about this event? This self-contained, just I don't know why they're doing it weekly. I don't know if they're doing it to line up with other events in the future, but I know it's only weekly while the Shadow of the Bat event is going on. So what have you thought of it?
I've enjoyed it. I don't know if you've ever read Shadow of the Bat.
Like the one that you did the extensive review on?
Yes.
I have some. I've read like sporadically, like over the years, but never actually read it. Like,
yeah, I mean this has a lot of the same like vibes and like environment feel to it. You know, like Shadow of the Bat is a trip because it's like Batman. He picks up this kid and he goes to take this little kid home or whatever, and her parents have their throat slit. And so like that sets him off on these cases, and like there's a lot of like deceptive activities going on. You have like Nightwing and Robin there, but like they're miscommunicating because they're on different levels about it all and stuff. And it's like this whole like big like conspiracy thing where like Jeremiah Arkham had basically rebuilt Arkham Asylum like in this like open floor plan kind of model thing, you know. And it was a trip because they're like, I don't understand how like all the villains and stuff, like how are they all basically general population, like they're gonna
that's in Shadow of the Bat, or are you talking about this current one?
Exactly. Both.
Yeah, that's what, okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like that's one thing that I really like about this Shadows of the Bat thing is that it really is kind of paying homage to Shadow of the Bat, because there's a lot of stuff about it. It has like the same feel too, like this general creepiness. One of the main characters, I wouldn't even call him a main. Well, yeah, I guess he is the main character, kind of. But Victor Zsasz, he's really important in that storyline. And this, he's marking his body or whatever. And this one has a homegirl that has the scissors and stuff. I don't even know her name. But like she's like this crazy killer, just like Zsasz,
Yeah, she has the cuts all over herself too, or at least on her face she does. I didn't realize how many similarities there were. And as you're talking about this, I remember you doing that extensive review on it, because that was about the time you did the one on that and then on EXO, when you're doing those in-depth reviews. Yeah, I miss you making content, my man. What is going on, Warlord? I'm glad you're here. You know what's funny is the Blue Goats just won the Super Bowl, and I know that the comic vet decided to root for the Tigers because he's not a fan of one of the players on the Blue Goats. And that's probably why they won. That guy cannot catch a break for rooting for a football team. Superman and Lois is on break for a few weeks, but have no fear. Me and my wife ran into that problem Wednesday night. We're like, where's Superman and Lois? You know what? Let's try Reacher. I heard that's good. And that's one of the best shows I've watched in a while for its genre. That is a phenomenal show. Also on Amazon Prime. It is unapologetically the novel's adapted. Like it is not trying to be anything that it is not, and it's leaning into its own tropes to the point that it is beautiful. Yeah, Chip knows the book. Speaking of Chip, he's actually here, Ryan.
Ooh.
Did you know that Chip was here?
I did not.
Hey, everybody. Hope you are all doing well tonight. Appreciate you popping in for a second, Chip. You're welcome anytime. Anytime.
Yeah, I've heard really good reviews about Reacher so far.
I love Reacher. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. And dude, the story's actually like, think if you take like a mystery, like you got to like who done it, solve it kind of thing, and you just stick to it, and you make it a season of a show. You just stick to it. Don't add all this fluff to it. Just stick to it. Like it feels it feels like you're reading a book. And I've only read 2 of the Lee Child Reacher books. And it's been probably, I think I read one in like 2009. I think I read the other one around 2016. And so I don't have like some kind of great Reacher knowledge, but I do remember like enough of like, like what you kind of keep from stuff like that,
Yeah. Yeah. See, I've never read any of the books. I think I saw, was there 1 or 2 Tom Cruise Jack Reacher movies?
2 of them, and I saw the first one, which it was
I only saw the first one.
And it was an enjoyable movie. I just he just doesn't fit the description.
Yeah,
he's almost as good as the book. He's read them all. Awesome. Check out Private Chat.
I thought John Krasinski was Reacher though. He was on Prime or something.
No, man, that's the Tom Clancy stuff. Harrison Ford played him in Air Force One. Ben Affleck played him in The Sum of All Fears.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Now, I'm trying to remember that character's name now, because the only name that can pop in my head is Jack Reacher. It's just Reacher.
Yeah, I know his name too, and I can't even think of it. So, but yeah, Shadows of the Bat. That was my only thing. Is like, or maybe Shadows of the Bats, whatever it is. That was what I thought whenever I first heard it. I was like, I thought it back to the 90s, 92 series there, and I was like, wait, so are they like redoing that? Are they doing something different on it? And so I kind of went in like wondering about like how it was going to play with like the original mini, and so yeah, I thought it was really cool the way that they've kind of peppered all that stuff in, but it's still pretty interesting because you have different players in place. Like the other one was all Batman. Nightwing and Robin basically make a couple of little cameos.
Jack Ryan. Yeah, thank you guys. Jack Ryan is the Tom Clancy one.
I can't believe what are the odds I would forget Ryan?
Dude, the initials are the same even. Jack Reacher or now I'm say, that right, Jack Ryan. It just sounded too similar, I guess. And his name's Ryan. Wow. So much of the Reacher books takes place in his head. The show was great, but had to have a lot of clunky exposition to explain his thought process. Yeah, the clunky exposition is pretty fun because that makes a lot of sense. Like with this, like talking about how a lot of it takes place in his head, because he'll walk into a room and someone will start a dialogue with him, and you'll expect like an answer to kind of drive the plot, and he'll just go, no. He does that a lot. Like he's very direct, very straightforward, intentionally holding back information. Yeah. But then when he does like an information dump or like walks into a room and can just like describe what the events happened, like he just
like a little rapid fire thing, like Ant-Man.
He can break it. Yeah, like Michael Pena. He can break a person down like just from meeting him. He can tell them like your habits from the past few years. Like I can tell you just quit smoking from the jitteriness of your right hand and da 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 da.
Yeah, kind of like Robert Downey Jr.'s
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah. I want to say Will Ferrell Sherlock Holmes, but to each their own. That movie was so bad it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't know why. It was horrible. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, Holmes and Watson.
Yeah, I never watched that one.
It is so. It's on Tubi if you want to watch it. It's so bad it was fun.
I also read and I don't even know now. I don't know if there was even okay. So Superman, Son of Kal-El. I read 4 of those today.
Dude, again, let me see. Okay. Yeah, this was my favorite issue in a while.
Yeah. I mean, all of them, man. I don't know. There was stuff I was connecting with in every single issue where I was like, man, this is just really good modern comic book writing.
See, the one before this was probably my least favorite issue. And it makes sense at this point because it was like a 2-issue little quick story arc with him and Jackson and the sea creature getting stirred up and making its way toward a populated area. So the fact that there wasn't all the heart that this one had, like with him, getting that great loss and the frustration he was having of trying to do the right thing and people trying to do the wrong thing were interfering with him. And you can't just you can't just hit him and tell him to stop, trying to find that proper resolution, like watching him struggle. Like people that are trashing this book without reading it are the biggest idiots I've ever seen, because this is proper hero's journey. This is proper homage to what came before it, by being unique, being itself, and watching him make mistakes along the way, watching him learn. It's just it's really a delight. In that moment when he just had enough. And what is the name of the team that Bendix put together? He has like a nickname for him.
Gamora 6?
So when the Gamora member took a swing at the sea creature and he just caught its fist, he's like, enough. And then in the very next panel, he puts a hand behind him and catches the creature. Like, enough. I was like, oh, here we go. That was fire.
Yes.
Just stopping, like how you had all this momentum going from the fight coming this way, from the dangers going to the city with the tsunami. And at that point, like, we didn't know it as the reader, but think how clever this was. That was the moment he got fed up. We know the tsunami went and there was one fatality. He was aware of that fatality before we were as the reader. That's when he shut everything down. That's why he did that. Enough. Because he just lost somebody. And dude, like, goosebumps, man. Like, gorgeous writing.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I that's what I love about it, is it feels like such a modern Superman, which, like, kind of sounds ridiculous to say, but he's pulling it off, like, that's the thing.
He's a fool. No, I was telling people what I was eating. Chip.
Like, whenever, and I know this is kind of like tying a couple of issues together. It might be these two, right? That, like, sea creature shows up, and whenever he went out there, I was like so excited to see how he reacts to the situation, because like, that's where people get Superman wrong. They're like, oh yeah, there's a giant monster, like, have him go lay some hands on him, we'll fix this up, and so that's what I was waiting for. And he goes out there, and the fact that, like, he just didn't go in and attack and, like, take this monster out, he didn't do anything, like, ridiculous. Like, he just went and, like, tried to talk to it, and, like, that's Superman in a nutshell. He could do anything. Like, this is nothing for him, except for like the moral questions of it all.
The time I'm spending on the the social media circles that are very contrary to my opinion, the people that don't read this and bash it, they were the complaints were, let me try to reason with it. It's something different. They were actually complaining about that concept, like, of trying to learn about what you're dealing with instead of just swinging at it. And I thought that was absolutely ridiculous, because in a Superman book, in a book that has been around for nearly 90 damn years, how many times has he fought random monsters? What kind of threat is a sea creature to a Superman? Zero. Where's the actual conflict then in trying to figure it out? Like, this isn't an enemy. It is a threat, but it's not an enemy. You want new books to be written. You want stories to have to be thought out. And then this was that. This was that. Yeah. The enemy was the Gamora core, not the creature. The creature was an obstacle. Like, it was good.
Yeah, I love that. And then I thought, like, the way that they resolved the wave, right? When he goes underwater and claps.
Yeah.
And he has to clap at the speed of sound. Like, it was the perfect way to show how much restraint he had that entire time. Like, the amount of power you would have to be able to swing your hands together at the speed of sound that far underwater, like at the bottom of the ocean, under all that pressure and everything. Dude, like, that monster stood no chance. Like, the whole situation was just him being amicable and being the peacemaker, So
did you realize, like, now we're able to look back on since I begged you to pick up Superman, and you did. I take full credit for you enjoying Superman. So since you picked up Superman and we had that first start, that beautiful back and forth between the dynamic of John and Clark's relationship, we're starting to actually be able to compound where this Superboy stands out as Superman. Like, we saw how he used his eye lasers differently in a way that Clark isn't able to, how he was able to focus and compress it for it to make an explosive point. And we're seeing, like, how cute he is with his ability to do this. Like, that's pretty good, and it's not like he's moving planets. He's not flying at 5 times the speed of light through multiple supernovas to knock out a fifth dimensional being like his dad's done. He's just being very precise with what he has, and I think there's a lot more attention and a lot more time and effort going into this title than I realized until as we're getting more issues into it. There's not a lack of effort at all.
Oh no. Well, see, I really like the issues before that too. Whenever whenever him and Jay are kind of getting along and stuff, and they go and they do all that stuff, right? And Jay shows him the truth. That kind of blew my mind. I was like, I never really thought they were gonna be some secret super base, And then as they go in and they all have different names and stuff, and I was like, this is kind of incredible because they still have secret identities. That's the crazy thing about the modern world is we all have these screen names, right? And we think of secret identities, especially with the advent of the MCU, everybody knows who the superheroes are. Everybody knows that Superman is John Kent. Everybody knows that John Kent is Superman. But so whenever he goes somewhere else, he has to have a secret identity to kind of escape his celebrity, And so I think that's a really cool way they're playing with what is a modern secret identity? It's actually escaping from who you are.
Kate asked if I'm doing a signing event right now. Yeah. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so the wife just got the kids down enough for us to sign the cards. And let me see them. Which bag should go to Finn and which bag should go to Monkey?
Yeah, I'm loving the Action Comics line too.
Which bag should go to Finn and which bag should go to Monkey?
Finn should get the hearts.
This one's going to Finn.
Yeah.
I don't know. We had to take away their toys that we got them for Valentine's Day that they found early. They found them and took them out and played with them. Is this Finn's? Mm-hmm. That's Finn's dragon. And I don't even know what the hell Monkey picked out.
It's a bat.
Whatever it has, if you eat it, it will cause a pandemic. That's all I know. Let's see. Jonathan is Earth Superman. Cal is the universe's Superman. Absolutely. And for those that have a problem with that concept, it's funny how somebody with the name of their name is House of L Comics, they understand that. I'm a Superman fan. I completely understand that. But do you remember how much crap was going around just a few short weeks ago about the truth, justice, and a better tomorrow? Watch Superman and Lois right now on TV. This whole season, the second season is based around the fact that Superman will not work directly for the U.S. government, that they created their own version of superpowered individuals. He's like, dude, I promise you I will help y'all, but I made a bigger promise to this world. They got mad at him for he saved a nuclear submarine in the first episode and returned it to the shores it came from. We've got it in the waters of a specific country and put it back on the shore that country was in. And they're like, why didn't you bring it to us? He's like, why would I? It wasn't over here. We weren't doing anything wrong. They're like, we've been wanting that tech and all that.
Not my what do you not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah. And that's how he's always been. Opening that character up to be more accessible to everybody. I talked to Lee from Whack Comics. He's like, to be honest with you, I always felt excluded by it. It says it right there in that motto that this character's not for me. It's for Gina. He lives in Australia.
Yeah, he's an outsider. Yeah, I think I'm happy with all the updates. I think Tom Taylor is really building a great character for a modern audience. But then you also have Philip Kennedy Johnson that's just knocking it out of the park on Action Comics. If all you want is Clark and
Mars,
some older values.
They picked it out.
We got Pocan Joe up in the chat. What is going on? Hope you're doing good. What's shaking? I know that Joe's been watching these trailers. I spoke with him, I think it was and I forget my days. I think it was last night we talked about the JSA stuff and all that, man. Very, very exciting stuff. But yeah, Detective's been good. This has been a fun series. You know, the whole thing in a nutshell. New Arkham is a tower, middle of the city. You have all these inmates that are psychopaths, actually straight-laced, able to intermingle with each other without locked doors and all this and that. You have the Bat family that has inserted themselves into Arkham to try to figure out what's going on. Long story short, the new guy in charge, his name is Dr. Ware. He's working with a lot of crime elements all throughout the city. He's smuggling drugs into there. He's also like laundering money through there, and you're not sure why. He's got a very, very troubled past, very, very, very troubled past, and he's using this drug as an amplifier for the Psycho Pirate to be able to control them. It's not the drugs keeping them docile. Psycho Pirate is literally in the building, controlling the entirety of the building, and he's starting to wear out. It looks like he's been up for 3 weeks doing it just so that Dr. Ware can get specific approval from Mayor Nakano to get extra funding and everything. What he wants to do with that money, it looks like he's going to have to pay the Penguin off, pay off another gang. He's robbing Peter to pay Harry, or however the saying goes. I think he's robbing Peter to pay Paul, but I like Harry better.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's just like a straight up grifter. Like, he set up an entire con. He's gonna like get a $6 million cash out and bounce and on to the next job. And I thought like the whole like Psycho Pirate thing. I don't know anything about this character, so like I really don't know what I'm supposed to expect from him. But like the whole thing is like, that's cool that like the doors are unlocked, and so like they can just like intermingle because you're all like mind controlling them. But like, why wouldn't you just put them back in their cells and lock the doors during lights out so that Psycho Pirate can take a nap?
Prove a point. I think it's part of him trying to advance and rush the funding. You know, if you put him in their rooms and you turn Psycho Pirate off, you have crazies at nights and straights during the day. You know, that just wouldn't work. Because he is trying to
like, do you think Nakano's going to stop in the middle of the night to check and see if they're locked or not?
Yeah, but everyone there is not on his payroll. Remember, he iced a couple people already.
Oh, that's true.
So he's really just trying to. He's like the only wild card now that you really can't just take out is Nicole Kidman.
What?
Nicole Kidman, Dr. Chase Meridian. That's Nicole Kidman from Batman.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
when I read it, I literally say Nicole in my head. I can't get over it. Like, she was great.
That makes sense because I was like, man, I feel like this name is familiar from like the Batman mythos, but like I couldn't really place her. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really sure like who she was as a character in the Batman realm, so that makes sense why I thought the name seemed familiar.
Yeah, so I'll never forget good old Dr. Chase Meridian, because when that movie starts, you know, you have the police show up and everything, and Batman swings down because Two-Face is holding the bank hostage. He lands, and she just looks at him. Hot entrance. And that's yeah. So Tim Burton's not directing.
Pulls out his black card.
That was the next one. The book I picked up this week that I'm not reviewing is I picked up one of those Spider-Verse 2, the first appearance of Gwen Stacy as Spider-Gwen. This is I don't know what print it is. I don't know how many they've done now, but I grabbed that. It's just cool. I know a lot of people don't own it. I might throw it in a Legion loot box. I might send it off to get graded. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. This Duel #1 from Bliss on Tap Publishing turned into a hot book too. It was going for like $20. I think it still is, but I just ordered mine directly from the publisher for cover price. I got 3 of them, so same thing. Probably end up throwing one into the Legion loot box. I might get it graded first. I'm trying to kind of up that kind of stuff. And all of them came off the press in very fine to near mint. So they threw in an extra book with it, which I thought was really nice until I got the book. It's called Weed Magic, and it's in issue #2. So don't know what I do with that. And
that's so random.
Well, all right, appreciate it, man. Another one, a new one, which was another indie #1 from Aftershock called Land of the Living Gods. This one had a lot of attention on it as well. It was commanding a $20 price tag online before Wednesday hit. So I picked up 2 of those at the request of a friend in the community that I'll be sending out. So I don't even want to read it because I don't know if they're trying to get them to flip them or to get 9/8. So I don't want to put any unnecessary wear and tear on the books. TMNT Best of Jenica, which is the final one of these TMNT Best ofs.
Oh,
So that
wow.
completes the whole set, all 4 turtles, Casey, April, Shredder, Splinter, and Jenica. So these are actually going to end up going up for sale on the Pops Addict site. I've got the set. I'm just going to kind of thin out the collection. Don't need it. So a couple cover buys. The new series of Maestro, World War M started. So we got a cool Abomination designer variant there. We got another variant with Maestro and the I guess his villains of this title, Dr. Doom, Namor, and the Abomination on the cover there. That's one of the variants. And then this one has the same characters as well as Human Torch on there. And that's not Johnny Storm. That's not Toro. That's the original Jim Harper, I think, Human Torch. I think that's his name. But it's the android Human Torch, the very first
Isn't that
Marvel
also
character.
John Krasinski?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But remember in the first Iron, I think it was the first Iron Man. No, in the first Captain America, the flashback when they go to the World's Fair and you see the android in the glass case,
Oh, yeah.
red suit. It's him. And then the A cover, and this was actually a phenomenal read. It starts out with Abomination waking up in AIM and MODOK sending him out. And he gets confronted immediately by Atlanteans that Namor had watching the facility, waiting for like movement kind of thing. And they're basically recruiting him in to go after Maestro, but not by himself. They have the android Human Torch, and they send in and really kicks off a great fight, and kind of leaves you cliffhanging. How can an android catch on fire or be on fire? So the whole thing was it was his creator when he made him. There was a flaw in his design, so I don't know if it's not like a robot, like the whatever chemicals or whatever he made him with. When he interacts with the oxygen in the air, it causes combustion effect. That's why you saw him in that glass case on display at the World's Fair in the Captain America movie. If he comes out of that, he catches on fire and destroys things around him, and he was perceived as a bad guy. The pitchfork people coming for him kind of thing. So everyone rallied together against the scientists and demanded that he destroy his machine. So the way that they could do it is by sealing him in an airtight container and throwing him in the ocean. But his creator loved him more than that and left a small enough hole that air was able to seep in there, and he was able to free himself eventually. But that's the thing. And yes, Maestro. I am not Italian. Maestro. If y'all want to say it the right way, say it the right way. There's no in the middle. It's Maestro or Maestro. Which one do you want me to use?
Definitely Maestro.
Maestro. That's not either. That's not American phonics, and that's not proper Italian. That's what is that, Ryan? Maestro. What is that?
It's branded. Coca-Cola is still Coca-Cola in Mexico, buddy.
Yeah.
You can call it whatever you want. I did want to ask.
Yeah, that is sick. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So in Superman, Son of Kal-El, I think number 7, right? He goes under the ocean, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this thing's bad because like it was suffocating because there's like this big pocket of like deoxygenation, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So like they have removed the oxygen from that space. Like, isn't water hydrogen and oxygen? So like, how does that work?
Well, I don't know. If you go into certain parts of there's inhospitable parts of our ocean. Just using this as an example is not the one in the book, but if you go down there, there's heat vents and there's underwater volcanoes and small exhausts from the interior of our Earth where fish and nothing else can live because the water is not the same pH balance or whatever is what you're thinking about. Like life cannot exist at all parts under the ocean on a good day. So, the world is ever changing, ever moving, and if we're there, I know that they're trying to make a point that we're causing damage to the ocean, but I don't know specifically. I don't think they're trying to get into the fine details of it. Point of what they were trying to say, just something happened to this person's environment, this creature's environment, causing it to be inhospitable to him. And
Yeah.
if the world can do that without our help, just with the regular ebbs and flows of like what goes on underneath the surface. So I don't know. But inhospitable parts of the ocean for marine life to exist is already a thing without science fiction being added to it or without our help. So
Yeah.
that is a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
I just thought it was weird. He was like
that 7-Eleven cup in the panel did the job or not. I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird. He was like very specific that it was deoxygenated, and I was like, but that's what it takes to make water. So like, what are you standing in right now?
Well, D doesn't mean like it's all gone, I guess, I don't know.
I guess there's still enough there to make water, but not enough to breathe.
I don't know.
And whenever he like swims in that section, there's like all these extra bubbles in him and stuff, and I'm like, I think
that's air. Now it's
Yeah.
back. It's reoxygenated.
like don't bubbles come from like I see some problematic things in these panels,
You hit a small point where you gotta leave it at the door, my man.
Yeah. Still loved it. Thought it was a great issue.
Still have issue 7 here. You're making me want to go back and take a look at it. Real quick while I dive through this. Billy the Kid finale today. So this was a great miniseries, man. J.V. Gray is writing it. McLean Jr. is the artist on it. If you are not familiar with Billy the Kid, please get familiar with it. It's from Blue Juice Comics, which go check out this YouTube channel called You Promised Me Comics. They're a channel member. Fantastic channel. They do a lot of stuff with indie creators and all that. And they had the creators of this. They had the creators of this comic on their show this past week, and they talked about it in great detail. But this was only a 5-issue limited series. They created and built in a huge world that we're in, and we barely scratched the surface. Like it's also one of those revenge style stories. And I've spoken on it a lot. I'm not going to get too much into it. This does not give you resolution at all to what it started as. It's almost like it's an episodic at this point. And I hope they do more. I don't think that there's anything in the canon to do right off the bat next, but we'll see. Maybe it'll go somewhere. Maybe it won't. I'm trying to get to this ocean thing now, and you got me stuck. Oh. Yeah, there's really no explanation to it. There's a lot of air bubbles, though. Did you just throw something?
I told you, air bubbles for days. It's like God mode Sonic underwater. So yeah, I guess the lesson is don't throw things in the ocean because they will run the oxygen out, and then creatures won't be able to breathe. So they'll get very angry and they'll wake up, and then they'll come on land and try to destroy our cities. And then we'll have to do crazy things like stop tidal waves. So yeah, it was a good issue though. Jonathan did the Superman thing the right way.
He did. It was really cool. Let's see what else. The Eltarian War. Did you get caught up on that?
No, I am not caught up on that. Why don't you talk about that for a minute? I'm gonna go put her back down.
All right. So this was the second to last issue of the Eltarian War. It was a fallout after the big fight. We kind of see the big bad guy who's been going through this whole thing, who's like one of Zordon's old buddies. Him, Zordon, and Zed. Like Zordon and Zed are like the lifetime Power Ranger leader and villain. They had a big 3-way battle. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking, trying to get this thing open for my wife. And bad guys fell, good guys won. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that one's just being tough. Here you go. Get up later. You gonna be okay? You gonna be okay?
So bad. My hands hurt so bad.
Oh my
Like, I
gosh.
feel like I stuck them in an oven.
Little
Frying.
Bottle 1, Us 0. Also, that came out this week that was really good was Seven Secrets, and this is issue number 14. So this has been a really strong series, also from Tom Taylor. So this issue we saw that Amon, the main villain there, with God, what is this one's name? It's from another series, Kanto. Kanto is supposedly a good guy, been working the whole time with Amon, the bad guy, and nobody knows that. So they're able to kind of walk into good guy strongholds and just slaughter them. And that's exactly what happened. Now Amon has his hand on numerous cases that hold these secrets, and he starts opening them left and right. And he opens a Stargate to try to escape and kind of live to fight another day. And we get our main character, Casper, see what's going on and go full Super Saiyan almost. He has these hidden abilities that he does not yet understand, nor do we, the reader. We just know he has the ability of flight. He has the ability to his eyes light up white with all this energy coming off of him. And we haven't seen what he does with that yet, but he like flew down super quick from an aircraft up above and just landed right in the middle of the portal to where are you just going to stand there and keep trying to open it? Okay. And he blocked off Amon and was kind of left us hanging with a cliffhanger with a like a fight about to take off. I think this one was this week. I'm pretty sure this one was this week. This was Justice League Annual 2022. This was the return of Diana to the Justice League title. So we did not get a Justice League Dark backup story, and we will not get one again for a few issues. We have a hold on that as Bendis is just doing the full book, and it's leading us into that issue 75, Death of. And this really wasn't too important for me. This was kind of a prelude to the Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes miniseries that Bendis is doing. It's kind of its own story, with DC Comics, the way they do their continuity with this omniverse, multiverse setup, and the writer freedom that they kind of give them. You can kind of pick and choose where you want to read, where you find your interest. If you enjoy a writer more than another, you kind of have a few titles that you can kind of gravitate toward and kind of build off each other. So I'm just not really, I'm definitely digging the Justice League stuff. I'm just, I'm, like I told Ryan weeks ago, I'm not dropping Justice League for nothing. I'll ride it through. Bendis is not like the most dynamic writer. It's kind of just all par for the course kind of stuff. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just par for the course. But we had a time traveler that ended up back in our time stream, and he was multiple different ages when he landed here from where there's just like a time disruption. And his sole purpose was he was trying to find the Gold Lantern ring, which is part of the story for that miniseries. So it was really kind of building up this danger of the Gold Lantern. And I guess that's going to be the fuel of the fire for the argument or the disagreement between the two teams, because the Gold Lantern, I think, is supposed to be part of the Legion of Superhero stuff. So again, I'm not going to be keeping up with that. Only one issue of that is dropped. As always, if I hear amazing stuff about it, I'll go back and check it out. But I'm really not expecting it to be much, especially with us having the Death of the Justice League coming, with Dark Crisis coming right behind that. We have huge things on the way. And me, I'm all for that cosmic level, like crazy, like bring me all the continuity and try to confuse me. Watch this, I love that stuff. And on top of that, I'm hoping there's going to be tie-ins and stuff that, because I don't mind doing all the tie-ins and all that for stuff like that for DC at least. Like with Death Metal, the tie-ins were actually mandatory reading to keep up with it. I'd never seen that done before. But I hope they don't do that again. But I would be interested to have at least a select number of tie-in books.
My only Bendis experience is one issue of the Legion of Superheroes. Mm-hmm. That might have been a Future State book.
Yeah.
And then I read a couple of issues of his Justice League stuff, and didn't really move the needle much for me. There was like one really great panel, the way that one issue ended, when
Power of Water.
Remember that one guy was like coming out of the sky, like they're like, should we evacuate everybody? And Superman's like, there's no time, and he's just like outside and like freeze frames. Like that panel was the best thing I read out of all of Bendis's Justice League stuff.
Sinmar, and that is a wicked villain, and I hope they like the Sinmar character. Like he's awesome. Yeah, he was introduced in the final story arc for Bendis's run on Superman.
Yeah.
I hope that muted.
I don't have enough Bendis experience to have any faith in it because
Did you read the
kind
Naomi?
of not cared for both,
You read
both
Naomi,
of his
didn't you?
properties.
You read Naomi though, didn't you?
The series or like the Justice League stuff?
Series? No, no, on the DC Universe app. Didn't you read that?
Nuh-uh.
Oh, I could have sworn you did.
No, I've never read any of the Naomi
Make me a
stuff.
liar. What is up? Dan Blue Morning Comics is in the building, throwing all those custom emojis. He's a channel member, so you know he's got that. And another thing I picked up this week, Ryan, that I still haven't read, and unfortunately, I shouldn't talk about stuff I'm going to buy before I buy it because I went back to pick up all of the special edition Lunar New Year books. So guess what? Why I have 4 of them, Ryan?
To put in the Legion loot.
That covers one of them. So I said I was going to go back and get me a copy because I want to open one up and see what it looks like and maybe do a YouTube short on it and everything. And then Tyler's like, dude, I need one if you can get one. Like, no problem. Then Austin LeMay's like, dude, I need one if you can get one. I'm like, dude, no problem. And then Nick was like, I need one if you get one. I'm like, dude, no problem. Then I get to the store and there's only those copies. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be okay. They need them more than I do. Did you read Bat-Cat issue number 10 that came out this week? Wait, 2 more issues to go.
I intended to, but I ran out of time.
It was a good issue. If you enjoy this series, it was a good issue. This series is not for everybody. The way that it's being written in 3 linear timelines at one time, the way that the story is being told behind the panels kind of thing. It's not like a direct, like what you're looking at is the point of what's being said in the book. But it was a fight. The entire issue was a fight between Selina Kyle, Catwoman, and the Joker through 2 of the flashbacks you see him fighting, as well as in the current day, you have her fighting her daughter who tried to apprehend her an issue ago. Like that's where it cliffhanged us. But it was solid. It left us on a cliffhanger again with Selina she's wanting to tell her daughter something and kind of liking. Like it leaves it like there might be more to it, but it's kind of like, her dad, Bruce, and Joker both always was asking the same thing, and for her to be something that she's not, like almost like it's implying that she has this freedom that's needed, and they're both really trying to cage her in their own way, where Joker was trying to tie her down to work for him and to be his pawn, and Bruce in a way was wanting to tie her down and to change her to be what he wanted her to be, and now she's needing to ask the same thing of her daughter, but yeah, it was a good issue.
Sounds good. Yeah, I also heard I think Comic Book Club Live, they gave a really positive review of this issue. And I wouldn't say they've been down on it, but they definitely haven't felt like it's necessarily Tom King's best work.
No.
But they were really excited about this issue and how it leads into the big finale you're going to get in the last 2 issues there. So I'm excited to get caught up on it. I think I read 8, so I just got to read 9 and the annual, and then
dude, the annual was beautiful.
Yeah, they also really like the annual.
That was a solid, just single. If you even if you're not reading the series, you can go pick up the Batman Catwoman special that they did 2 weeks ago and just read it for what it is. Like it's not tied into the linear story of this maxi series. It stands on its own as just adding context to the character of Selina Kyle. And it's like I told Ryan, I had read it right before the show started, and I was I was low key emotional. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to review this book till Ryan reads it. I don't even want to talk about it. It was good. There's not really it's not really plot to break down. It's all just getting to know the character. It was good. Let's see. The new Jurassic World trailer dropped. I've forgotten about that.
Oh, really?
Not the teaser, but the actual trailer. And I am pumped to see dinosaurs running around with people. And there are some really beautiful shots in it. Have no clue what it's going to be about.
Who's directing this one?
I don't know. Who cares? There's dinosaurs. It's going to be bad, but that's all that matters. It's dinosaurs, bro. Sure.
It's one of those series there's been way more bad movies in this franchise than good ones.
I think with we've had 5 movies, and I would say we're 3-2 good. That's where I would put it.
Oh, really? I think I would put it more like 2-3.
So all right. So the one in question is the Lost World Jurassic Park 2. That's the one we're disagreeing on. The first one is good, no question about it, right?
Yeah.
Jurassic
Park. Yeah. Jurassic Park, amazing.
Jurassic World is good, no question about it.
I was not that big on that one.
Oh, so that's the one we're going to disagree on, dude. Dude, what? What?
I thought it was okay, but yeah, I wasn't like blown away by it.
Dude, I was. That was the first time that we saw a man ride a dirt bike next to a pack of raptors. That happened.
Yeah, but I don't know. That movie felt really long, and like the whole thing felt like it was pretty much carried by Chris Pratt. Like everybody else,
it's Chris Pratt.
Everybody else in that movie was so flat. I was like,
Bryce Dallas Howard did good, and the actor who played in The Life of Pi as the older version of Pi. You know how he was the guy who's like the big wig of the park who had the helicopter that crashed. You know, he was great, even though he wasn't in it for as long as he could have been in it.
Yeah.
He was eccentric and likable. And then the dude, he's from New Girl. My wife likes him, but he plays the voice of Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse. He was your tech guy. He was fun because he had that back and forth with the girl techie next to him, and like they had that, like it was fun, man.
Yeah. I mean, that one to me like kind of falls in the middle. I find it to be like too good, too bad, and then like that one is just kind of like I don't need to watch it, but it's not terrible.
I like how this kid tries to split the parents. Came in here, Dad, it's not playing anymore. I said, well, go tell Mommy, not me. Why? Because she's the one that go tell her. But she said, oh, she already answered. Oh, okay. Okay, we'll go tell her again. Yeah.
Every question comes with the immediate response of, so what'd your mom say?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at that point now.
Yeah. Because they will just come and ask and pretend like they haven't spoken to nobody about this before.
He'll drag himself all night long if you put on like short shows and stuff. So we're trying to get him, like, it's almost 11 o'clock and he'll still be fine in the morning for school. But if we like keep at it, if he has this mindset where if something is over, he can get up and wake us up to turn something on. Like, bro, it's 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, you look at it and swing on you right now. Like, I recognize you. Like, but we wanted to kind of get in this mindset, like, dude, when it's bedtime, we're going to start a movie. We're not doing a TV show because Netflix is on this stupid "Are you still watching" thing, and some of these shows are like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll put on a movie, man, and we're going to bed. Unless the house is on fire, don't mess with me. If the house is on fire, please let me know, though. Please.
Yeah, I get really
for you.
I get really frustrated with Disney on Disney Plus because they love to put out these short episodes and they do not autoplay. Like that Olaf Presents one that came out, it's like 6 like 3-minute episodes or something. I'm like, oh my God, like.
And what I found out as well is a lot of the stuff on there is special features off of discs. They just put the special features because you remember back in like even DVD days, like Blu-ray were around, but like you would have to buy like the 2-disc DVD or the Blu-ray, and you get the mini movies, including 3 mini movies of the Minions and stuff like that. That kind of content is on Disney Plus. Like, we've got all this content. Like, dude, you're just putting special features and pretending like it's original. Like, I appreciate it's on there, but I hate that you put it on there. Like, why'd you do this?
Yeah.
Or why'd you break it down into 3 episodes? Just let it roll.
Yeah. Yeah, like that Olaf where they did add a single episode, but it's way at the bottom, so you definitely don't know that the first time going through that playlist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why do these not autoplay? Like, my daughter's coming over to me every like 3 to 5 minutes. Like, can you press play on the next one? I'm like, oh, what the hell? That's like the only streaming service that I actually pay for out of pocket. So, wish they'd get their act together.
I have people messaging me about that Lord of the Rings thing. People that are like Lord of the Rings fans and stuff, and they're hearing all like the cries of wokeism and all these people that are just screaming what's going to be wrong with it before it ever comes out,
Yeah.
And they were really concerned that it was going to be bad.
I mean, I go back to like, a hammer will always find a nail.
Yes.
If
No
you're
matter
going
what.
into it looking for the problems, there's going to be a whole lot of problems. You'll find them for sure. And Foundation on Apple TV Plus, like that's a Game of Thrones in space.
Are you really bringing that up? So Ryan knows that I do not have Apple TV, and he always likes to pour salt in the wound.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, like that's basically Lord of the Rings in space, So like having seen other things that do the Lord of the Ring or the Game of Thrones thing, like they're playing in the same lane, but they do it just as well, maybe better in some ways, maybe worse in other ways. But at the end of the day, like it's good stuff. So like go ahead, do Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, or whatever, like just do it good, make it well, and people are gonna watch it and like it. You can never please everyone, so like pick an audience and lean into it.
I just hope it's entertaining. That's really all I got. I have a pretty low bar for it, Like I said, I'm really not. It's kind of like Star Wars. The only thing that I'm tied to with it is the existing movies. Never been
Star Wars.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Steve. You're missing out on a lot of good stuff. That's a lot of hours of great content. Like, and it's always there if you ever want to go pick it up. It's really good. My wife was a problem, so I nailed her down before anyone else could. I see what you did there. People are so stupid. They don't like it. They shouldn't watch it, and that's it. Not everything is made for everyone. I don't like Star Wars, so I don't watch it. Yeah, that's where the problem lies, Ignacio, is people don't like something or decided they don't want to like something, but instead of just that's it part, they take to large platforms and just start spewing garbage. I literally watched a video titled "They're Ruining Spider-Man 2099." With it was like they're ruining it with gender swapped characters and bad writer. So I clicked on it, and this channel has like over 10,000 subscribers. It's like tons of traffic on their channel. And he was complaining about how they're going to be ruining the upcoming 2099 miniseries because in this future, dystopian future, there's the character that's being added to this installment is Winter Soldier 13. Winter Soldier, the program that Bucky, even in the existing stuff, was not the only one that was a part of it, so. And by 2099, there's at least up to number 13. His complaint was they're making it a female. And it went on to talk about how they're ruining comics, doing gender swaps and race swapped. And he's using Spider-Man 2099, a character in that. Spider-Man 2099 himself is Hispanic. He's Irish Hispanic. He didn't even know that to complain about it, though. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to ruin Spider-Man 2099 by gender swapping and race swapping all these characters. I'm like, dude, do you realize how stupid you sound right now?
Right.
It hurt my heart.
I just don't like
Batman 89 series. I didn't care for the Batman 89 series for me, like that came out at the same time as Superman 78. I absolutely love Superman 78. I have
oh my God, it was so good.
Both of those books right here. But I read the first few issues of Batman 89 and kind of dropped it, where Superman 78 completely captured the essence of the Donner Superman movie, where every character that was in it, it really felt like an extension of what we saw in the movie. Batman 89 did not. It just felt like a random Batman book, an Elseworld title, and I just wasn't trying to add anything to my pool at that point. I was interested in like the kind of inception and creation of a new Robin and kind of the amalgam of like the Tim Drake, Dick Grayson angle they were going, but it just wasn't enough for me to want to continue to pull a book. And it was it was kind of a boring story. They were kind of getting on like racial tensions in the city, and I was curious to see about the whole Billy D. Williams version Harvey Dent get made and everything. So I did watch that happen, but it really just didn't flow from the movie to the book at all. Like the fact that Harvey Dent had a hard on for Batman, where the last time we saw him, he was like standing there next to Gordon firing up the bat symbol. So it didn't feel like a true continuation where Superman 78 did. So it wasn't able to really draw me in on the nostalgic level. Cause that's all that like really was able to catch me at the beginning, where Superman 78 caught me and then kept me with a great story. Batman 89 didn't catch me in the beginning, and it really wasn't doing too dynamic of a story. So it was just another Bat title.
Yeah, I read the first Batman 89, and I was more excited for Superman 78 going into it all,
Yeah, I'm a bigger Superman fan then.
Yeah, and so like Batman 89 came out, I read that first one, and I was just like, this really, now I'm a little concerned about Superman 78, And whenever that came out, I was like, and my biggest complaint with Batman 89, number one, was that like it didn't do anything. It was just like a whole bunch of like fan service, like, hey, remember you watched this movie a long time ago? And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but like, what's the point of it coming back? You're not showing me that. And I was like, well, maybe that's what Superman 78 is going to be. And then once I read Superman 78, and that first issue was like, no, we're just going to hit the ground running, and like Easter egg throughout,
Yeah.
And like it did it so much better. I was like, yeah, I have no desire to continue reading Batman 89 at this point. So
yeah, this finished strong, finished really strong, and it had like that cinematic feel to it. Like
oh yeah, it was
like that slick little body swap with only 1 second left on the bomb timer.
right.
Yeah, hard was doing smart.
Yeah,
and even the way that the fight scene played out, I talked about it when we reviewed the final issue, but like the way he's fighting him, you have to imagine like, what if this is Chris Reeve and this is the 70s?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get the special effects scene fighting, like that we have today. So it kind of mirrored that, and it really just played. It played.
Oh
really
yeah,
well.
and it was great because like you also got the perspective from the bottled city, and that was like very cinematic. The way it pulled the other storyline, like kind of tied the A and B plot together right there at the end. Like it felt like a movie. I wouldn't mind a Superman 78 6-issue series like every year or something. Basically give us another Superman 78 movie.
Just curious, but why do you think all the race stuff has entered so hard into comic world? As a black man, I always was more interested in the story. And I'm an 80s baby, 90s race. I'm also an 80s baby, 90s race. I think that a lot of it, in my personal opinion, there's a couple of key factors. One is just social media causes people to talk about stuff more, like this heightened level of racism. I don't know if there's that you hear how it's just always a comment and talk, and people are trying to like make it so apparent that they're not one of those people, and they're trying to err on the side of caution to a fault. There is that in the social light, and that translates into the mediums of creating. You have a lot of younger people that they have to be relevant on social media, trying to promote their products and this and that. And a lot of people with those certain viewpoints that are leaning into it are creating now that it kind of looks different than it has before. And the people that are so hard to push against it, I don't think in my lifetime, never have I seen so many people pushing in both directions that I have these days. But as far as stuff entering the comics itself without people's opinions, that's always been there. And the whole thing, like a perfect example is the Dark Crisis is coming up with DC, where they're about to sideline their main characters and let these second generation characters that are here have some time in the spotlight. That's going to be John Kent, Jackson Hyde Aquaman, Yara Flor Wonder Woman, Joe Green Lantern, and right off the top of my head, I can't think of another one that's on there, but you have Jackson Hyde is a gay character. John Kent is out as bisexual at the moment. Like he's not like identified himself as anything. He's just finding who he is. Yara Flor is Brazilian. What Wonder Woman, she's an Amazonian, whatever that is to begin with. And then you have Joe. She's I don't know what race she is, or
I'm pretty sure she's mixed.
Hispanic,
Latino,
black.
Latino and black.
So people are crying woke because of that. But these characters kind of came into their own separately. They're being brought together now. But if you go back, like this whole Death of the Justice League thing is kind of a quiet homage to the death of Superman in 75. It's Justice League 75 death. And back in the 90s, it was Superman. When Superman was replaced by 4 other people after his death, one of those was a person of color with John Henry Irons. None of the fans back then were crying woke or this or that. It wasn't a problem. So I honestly blame more social media than really anything about the outcry of it. When it comes down to it, it doesn't matter what somebody's motives are for writing the story. If they feel that they want to include a person of color or a person in the LGBTQ community, if they want to try to bring awareness to that, that doesn't stop it from being a good story unless they allow it to. None of that matters if it's a good story or not. Like, I honestly do think that Tom Taylor had an agenda when he decided to make John Kent bisexual. Tom Taylor went in an interview and said, I thought I'd just be doing a disservice if I just made the next Superman just be a straight white male. The world has enough straight white male heroes, which, whether that's true or not, that's your own opinion. Like, there's no right or wrong answer to that. So he definitely had an agenda when he was doing this. He wanted to bring more awareness to it, and he might have just wanted headlines, who knows why he did it, but it hasn't stopped the story from being good. So, like, really, when it comes down to it, for me, I leave all that stuff at the door. Can it be heavy-handed at times? Can it be on the nose? Can it affect the story in a detrimental way? Of course it can. Does that mean I'm going to cry woke at every time that it looks like that's what someone's doing? Not at all. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to review it. Like Mr. Miracle, Source of Freedom is a perfect example. That was a great miniseries. The first issue, when they had the new Mr. Miracle, who's a black guy, come in, they introduced him, and they went so hard on the what do you call it, like the racial, like your racial social identity stuff and playing racial politics and all this kind of identity politics. They went heavy on it in that first issue, and we talked about it, like how it was so on the nose that it took away from the story. But we also talked, if they leave it at this issue, all they did was really just give you a good foundation for who this character is, and then can run the story. And that's exactly what they did. They dumped it all in that first issue, and you knew who the character was. You kind of understood where he was coming from. And then they had 5 other issues that didn't even touch on it. That they just told a story, but now you're more familiar with him in the way he interacts with other people, the way he goes out making his decisions, where it's all coming from. So it worked out really well. Because the liberal writers want to write all the bullcrap in comics that nobody cares about, it's an agenda. That really goes both ways, and I really just gave you a touch on it.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is, like, especially when you say 80s baby raised 90s, is like, a lot of the writer, if you look at like the big writers right now, in fact, Tom Taylor fits in that demographic of like people that were born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. They're all like in that 30 to 40 year age range, James Tynion, Tom Taylor, Donny Cates, all of them, like they're all, right at that age, like right around our age, like somewhere
good,
30 to 40. So like a lot of what they're writing about is things that resonate with us and that we see like where they're getting this from because we were raised in that same environment, and so the things that are in our minds are the same things they're writing about, So I think that's a big part of it is just like, we see it, we resonate with it because there are people writing about the same time periods that we grew up in,
Mm-hmm. So Dick and John have always been cool. We're talking about Dick Grayson and John Kent. There's not this new Super Sons dynamic between the two of them. That's not what's happening. There's about to be a 2-issue crossover that's paying homage to, again, what came before him. This is where like the comic history stuff is really fun, like how you were talking on the Shadow of the Bat and the current Shadows of the Bat. So in the next issue of Nightwing, it's a crossover. John Kent's coming over, and then Nightwing will be in the next issue of Son of Kal-El. But what they're doing is when Dick Grayson hung up his little underwear, his green underwear, and told Batman, "You can't see my thighs no more. I'm going to be a man now." And he became Nightwing. He went to Clark. He went to Superman to look for advice, to look for like to bounce his ideas off of, and to really he was questioning himself. He wanted to talk to someone he looked up to and respected to see how he should proceed and if he could get if you're going to co-sign on this decision or not. Superman even gave him the name Nightwing. So what they're doing now is Nightwing is more of a senior, like he's being looked up to by the next generation coming in. So now they're kind of reversing the role. We're getting John Kent going to Dick Grayson looking for that same advice. Clark is off-world. He doesn't have his dad, so who does he turn to? He's turning to Nightwing. He's not looking for a partner. He's not looking for a sidekick. He's looking for a mentor in this moment. And I think that's beautiful. That's awesome. What a way to keep Nightwing so relevant as like the like perfect example of how we can progress these characters. from the boy wonder who was like as tall as Batman's waist, running around with little leprechaun shoes and bulletproof underwear, to a 70s porn star with a Nightwing costume with a pop collar, to having his own city, having his own identity, making like huge decisions for that city in the way that it's structured and everything, to having Earth's most powerful hero coming to him who has no powers, asking, what should I do? Am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right choices? Who am I supposed to be? My dad's not here. I need your help. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Well, I mean, we've seen John and Damian recently be, buddies and stuff. So, like, to me, really what it comes down to is, like, Damian's kind of like that cool, like, coworker. Y'all going to burn one in the parking lot before you go home later after y'all shut down, But, like, whenever you decide, hey, I want to make more money, I want to get a better position or get better hours, you go to your cool manager, and you're like, hey, how did you get, like, an assistant manager position, So, like, I think that's kind of how I separate those characters is, like, Damian, I mean, he gives them advice too, but, it's like we're on this same level, whereas, like, with Nightwing, it's like going to that father figure, the next generation kind of passing, it all rolls downhill,
Yeah. See, I agree with exactly what John and Johnny Boyer is saying, where I've talked to Ryan about this. I read comics to escape the real world. That's when the on-the-nose stuff gets under my skin. But the inclusivity that John's talking about, where the comics more reflect the real world, that's so that people who want to go in the shop and buy the comics can relate and see themselves in these characters. So that's the balance. Like, y'all are both saying the same thing pretty much. Y'all are both like agreeing without using the same words there. Like, that balance is what matters. When you can do that, when you can make comics inclusive without us knowing who you're voting for next month, that's when you're doing your job as a writer correctly. Like I mentioned, that first issue of Mr. Miracle was so heavy-handed that I had a hard time enjoying it, because it was literally like watching the news. Like, there was actual events in that book that were on the news at that time. And that's not cool for me, because I use it as an escape. But am I okay with, like, being explained how this person feels and how they view the world? That's fine. But telling me that Metropolis is like a racist city, like, that was heavy-handed. That was like too on the nose for what message you were trying to get out. You shouldn't explain your message to me. It should show through in your body of work. And that's why I don't read John Ridley stuff anymore, because he crucifies characters to try to talk about real world narratives, and that's not what comics are for. But inclusivity is ridiculously important. But but it gets to a point, like, if it continues to go, like, realistically, if you continue to go at the rate that it's going at, you're going to be at the point where the books no longer reflect the proper balance of the real world. It's just going to be for a specific group of people and no longer for everybody. But there is that balance. I'm ready to see how he becomes Deathwing. Yeah, good. It's good stuff. I'm excited for next week. I know that there's some. I'm just ready for. I'm ready for the Death of Justice League thing to kick off. I'm really excited about the Dark Crisis event. I think it's going to be a blast. There's also some. Of course, the next installment of Shadows of the Bat that's coming out weekly. I think this is going to be part 6. I think 6 or 7. There's that book that Specs was talking about. The next issue of Flash is dropping next week. We got the Eclipso event still going, and I don't think we're going to see resolution in that. I believe Eclipso is going to be part of the merry band of misfits that are going to be crucial in Dark Crisis on the villain side. So they announced in a few press releases that we have the whole big villain that was in Justice League Incarnate, but we also found out that Pariah is supposed to be the one even behind him. Pariah was teased already. That's who's with Barry Allen. But also in the image, like, you see the villains that we've seen, then you see Pariah standing over them, but then you see 2 just energy eyes in the darkness. So I think that there's something even bigger, and I'm wondering if it might be the unkindness that's being built up in the Teen Titans book. Next week, we also get the conclusion of Supergirl and the conclusion of Primordial in the same week. So I'm pumped for both of those.
Yeah, I still have a lot of books to catch up on. So Don't really have much to look forward, or I'm not like looking into the future at the moment, but it sounds like there's a lot of fun stuff going on, like getting built up to. So it'll be interesting to see how all this comes together.
Over the Teen Titans Academy. What do you mean over the Teen Titans Academy? I've been reading Teen Titans Academy. It's back on track. It's solid. We have Raven having the visions of the four riders of the apocalypse coming and them trying to stop Dane from kind of fulfilling the prophecy of who he is and ushering in this apocalypse. And they're not even worried about the riders of the apocalypse. Like they're looking beyond that to this great unkindness that is supposed to be the big problem for them. The Suicide Squad book has been consistently one of my favorite DC reads. It continues to be the backbone of DC Comics continuity. And these two are actually about to crisscross along with the Crime Syndicate, which I'm always down for the Crime Syndicate. As y'all know, they did a 6-issue miniseries right after Future State was over that I think I was the only one on the channel that was reading it, but it was great. It was like a reintroduction to the characters again. And it was cool how they did it. They kind of introed them together with a Starro invasion, but they played Starro differently even, but it was really cool. So we're about to get that's what the last Suicide Squad issue was. It was the prelude to the battle for Earth 3. We know Waller is on the run.
Yeah.
The government can't even work with her anymore. They're out to get her. So she's been setting up shop and doing everything she needs to do to invade and take over Earth 3. And when she gets there, I don't think she knows it yet, but there's a whole crime syndicate there. But the Teen Titans are going to be clashing with the Suicide Squad, going to be clashing with the Crime Syndicate, and Curveball. Rick Flag's Suicide Squad is still in play too because he took off on him in that last issue. Of course, he didn't get his target. Amanda Waller is always one step ahead. That is her superpower, is to be one step ahead of killing the like,
sounds like an Uno card.
Yeah, she ain't. What is up, Taylor Winder? Hope you're having a great night. Don't worry, there is a rewind feature on YouTube, and it will take care of you, my man. Nothing but love, brother. Don't hesitate to share your opinions. Always need to hear more thoughts as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely. And I hope everybody knows, especially on my channel, for someone like me who is always debating and arguing people for fun half the time even, I'll play the devil's advocate in a heartbeat. Do not ever think that your opinion is not welcome here no matter what it is. The only thing that I would discourage is anything outside of it doesn't even have to be respectful as long as it's productive debate.
I'm open to any good faith arguments.
Yeah, good faith arguments. What's all additive? Like as soon as someone criticizes you personally versus your argument, that's when you know it's done. As long as you're capable of criticizing each other's arguments and not the individual, it's fair game on my channel. Fair game because that's how it's supposed to be. Last Run to 5, TMNT on the way. You guys happen to like that series? It got delayed, first off. TMNT 5 got delayed yet again, which is unfortunate because now I can happily say that Doomsday Clock is no longer the metric in which we measure delayed series by. So Doomsday Clock was 12 issues, took a year and a half to get out. TMNT, The Last Ronin, is 5 issues, and it has already broke that record. I was excited, and when I read it, going into it, excited with issue 1. Issue 2 was okay. Then issue 3, it all just kind of became I don't know, very predictable, and the delays have really taken away my excitement. It's definitely worth a read. I highly recommend anyone read it. I'm going to be probably selling my whole set of cover A's after I get it and wrap it up. I've got all the John Jang variants for it. Jang Gang to death.
Even
the
the
channel members, feel free to throw that emoji. That is a custom emoji on here, but I'm excited to see how it plays out. It's not one.
Yeah.
Again, the delays have just taken my excitement, but I'm still excited to see how it plays.
I mean, same thing. Like I really enjoyed that first issue. I was like, this sets up some cool stuff. And then the second issue, I was like, okay, this was good, but middle issue, whatever, like it's pretty common. But then the last 2 issues, it was just like, what's up with these characters? They don't really seem like the same characters. And then once you like,
especially when they introduced Baxter, with like no contact or anything, he's just cyborg now and everything.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's that last issue I think really hurt, especially with all the delays on top of it. But yeah. I am excited for the 5th one just so that it's like done and wrapped up and like we have that story, Yeah. Maybe somehow they'll recontextualize all the stuff that I didn't like about the last issue, and
the last one, because it wasn't like a time jump of years or anything, but we just went from them like kind of chill, wondering what they're going to do, to already on Baxter's Island in the midst of trying to invade it, and we're like, wait, did we miss something? But overall, like for me, I read all the IDW TMNT stuff in trade form, and I'm only on like volume 6. I've got maybe up to 7 now. I've got like
I've read 4 of them.
Yeah, I always keep like 2 or 3 trades ahead because I never know when I kind of binge read stuff, and just when I have nothing else to read, I have a stack of trades in my bedroom at all times of stuff that, like, when I just have a bug to read something, I'll grab and read. But right now, I've just been continuously burning through Green Lantern season 1 that Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp did. I almost finished. I'm on like issue 10 of 12 of that, and I'm on the tail end of volume 2 of Fables. I'm kind of bouncing between those 2 at the moment. Fables is phenomenal. Like that, I'm only on the 2nd volume, but that's phenomenal. I still haven't had it spoiled for me. So if you've read Fables, do not comment on Fables unless you're only commenting on volume 1. I still do not know who the adversary is. But dude, we're right at the 2-hour mark, man. You got anything else you want to touch on tonight? Because I'm going to be working solo dolo tomorrow. My help broke his foot yesterday, so I'm trying to get some. Yeah, he tried to skateboard for the first time and rolled his ankle and broke his 5th metatarsal. However you say it. He had a boxer fracture right here on your foot. His fracture got broke. IDW trade paperback Horn. Are you still reading Power Rangers? I am. I spoke briefly on the issue, 16 of Mighty Morphin that just came out last week, the second to last issue in the Eltarian War. It was decent. It was freaking decent. That Eltarian War has been really strong. I'm very excited for the upcoming Power Rangers Godzilla crossover. So,
there's a Power Rangers Godzilla crossover coming?
What? Yes. The crossover that not only do we deserve, but everyone's asked for. And it is Green Ranger era, so dude, awesome. Thank you.
That'll be interesting.
Nothing but great stuff. You should read Mantras, Kyle, and then you should come on Friday and tell me about it so I don't have to read it. It's probably good. Kyle likes good books. I'm still waiting on him to send me the next issues of By the Horns.
I don't think I've read any of that one.
Metatarsal is on the feet and metaparsal is in the hand. Thank you, Iggy. So it's the metatarsals then. Just the 4 point. It's just a fracture. He'll be fine. But he works on Tuesday so that I can have Tuesdays off. It's my assistant manager. And he messaged me. He's like, hey, I don't know if I can work Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, you better figure something out for Tuesday.
That's the Sabbath, don't you know?
Yeah. That ain't really about to happen, man. That's purely emergency. In a broken metatarsal is not an emergency. You can plant your butt in a seat and answer a phone.
Right.
There's 7 volumes of Monsters currently. It's a series that literally gets better as it goes. All right, well, send me the 7th volume then.
Yeah, let me
I'll
just start with the best of.
Let's start there. By the Horns is really good. Yeah, Kyle sent me. I think he sent me. How many did you send me, Kyle? Did you send me I know you sent me more than one issue.
Oh, I thought he just sent you the first issue.
I just sent me the first issue, but it was really good. I was intrigued, but dude, again, time management, it's just one of those things. Like, as good as it is, I don't know when I'll get caught up. Everything Meta is owned by Facebook. Aren't they supposed to be changing their name from Facebook to Metaverse?
Well, the Metaverse is like their platform, but the company is now Meta.
Meta, yeah. And they have I saw a commercial during the Super Bowl for the 3D goggles where you can go live in basically Ready Player One with bad graphics and no legs. Did you see that?
That sounds no.
Just think of that. Instead of having Sims style looking thing, you got an avatar with top halves and there's no legs on it.
That's weird. It shouldn't be weird, but it's kind of weird that there's no legs.
What is up, Shy Comic Girl? How are you doing tonight? Glad you could pop in. Hobble. Not exactly. Exactly. I was about to go to Walgreens and buy him one of those knee scooters.
Look at Specs. Get him one rollerblade. Better just duct tape that
I'm glad
skateboard
that,
to his
I'm
foot.
glad that other people understand my dilemma. So I read By the Horns because of Kyle, and I'm glad he recommended it. Yeah. Good night, all. Good night, Pops. I appreciate you hanging out. Sorry, it's taking me 3 months to message you back. Is this the official message back right here?
Right?
Yeah. Find him in the next live stream for your next correspondence. Kyle, you're awesome, man. I love you.
It's like Ruby G always having to like email him and stuff.
He's on IG now. He's like active on IG. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Like I said, I appreciate all you coming to hang out, especially on the Super Bowl Sunday. If you're rooting for the Tigers, I'm sorry. If you're rooting for the Blue Goats, congratulations for you. Be sure to do. Oh, I'm glad I thought of that. I'll have a video that comes out tomorrow about comic hunting in the wild and a stack of awesome keys that I found while doing so. If you're a channel member and you have access to content early, you might have already chose to watch it. If not, you'll be getting another notification for it for tomorrow. So be sure to be on the lookout for that, and always be on the lookout for Ryan. Who knows when he might start making comment again. What does it mean if a comic is a store exclusive variant? I want a Comic Tom 101 Venom #1 whatnot variant. So I got one in arm's reach, I'm sure. All right, so every comic that comes out has a standard covers from the publisher that goes to comic shop. Those are called direct editions. Now, comic stores, individual stores, can opt to pay for their own artists of their choosing, like with permission from the company, to get a version of a cover of their own for the same book. It'll be limited to a certain number, whatever they set for it. For example, this is Delta Dogs number 12. This is not the standard cover. This cover was made after the fact by a community member named Austin LeMay. So this is an exclusive, by Austin LeMay. And they're limited to a certain number and stuff like that. And a lot of stores do it as a way to gain extra income and bring people to shop at their stuff on the regular. But yeah. So that Venom #1, Comic Tom hires artists. And I think that Venom #1, that wasn't the Barron's variant, I don't think. No, that was the Raphael Grizzetti cover. So he had Raphael Grizzetti. He paid him to do like 3,000 covers of Venom #1, and he included them in his mystery boxes. Yep. But a lot of shows do them, dude. All these behind me. Yeah, this is a perfect example. So this is Batman Catwoman issue #1. Clay Mann did the regular cover that went out to all the stores, available anywhere comics are sold. Big Time Collectibles had John Jang do a variant that you could only buy from Big Time Collectibles. So that was a John Jang variant for that book. So that's what the store exclusives are. Yeah, good stuff. It's really good stuff. But again, appreciate everyone coming on. I'm going to get on here and adjust my videos to pop up tomorrow, probably at 11 a.m. So yeah, until next time, guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah.
Thumbs up.
As always, that's Ryan. I'm Mark, but we are Legion.